Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the world famous podcast, Beating the Press. I've got myself, my co-host Chris, and we've got a guy who pretty much might as well put his name on the badge now. He's been here that often. With him here, yes, right, it is another Euros episode, and this one is Euro 2012. It was held in Poland and Ukraine. We're going to follow the same format. If you've followed us before and you like the sort of stuff we talk about, football's your thing, please do the honourable stuff, like, subscribe, do all that fancy jazz. Otherwise, my co-host Chris will kick my ass because we've got to redo this all over again.
Yeah, you've got rent to pay. You've got to
do So, boys, how's it going?
Good. How are you, boys?
Yeah, I'm good. Chris, how are you?
Devastated.
Why?
Yeah, well, obviously we're going to go into we're going to be talking about the Euros, but obviously if people listen to this from the future, this is when football died. so but no, other than that, yeah, everything's good. Everything's good. About yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. I kind of hoping you won't mention when football died. That's a separate podcast that people think we're going to do in the future.
Really? The brother's got a 5-pack of white t-shirts on Primark, and you're up to it. I mean, already, come on, man. Let him enjoy his life.
I know. Who remembers when I bought the old Beating the Press podcast t-shirts as well? Chris, any danger of wearing one?
Have you got yours on?
No, I haven't, but that's not the point.
It was a Christmas gift.
I know. I got one, and I'll tell you, we've got a five-a-side team that we sponsor as well. Now it's just lads can wear white tops.
I promise. Next episode, I'll be wearing.
We've got it. Right. Anyway, so let's go back to business in hand. So this is Euro 2012. If you've not listened to the previous ones, please do. We've got from Euro 96 all the way up to Euro 2016. And then what we're going to do is we will be, obviously, it's in the lead up to Euro 2021. So, Euro 2012 tonight, Chris is just going to give you a bit of a structure of how the rest of the podcast is going to run. It's going to be exactly the same as our previous ones. So, over to you, Christian.
Yeah, so unlike the last one, England were actually in this tournament. So when England are in the tournament, what we like to do is we like to go through their game specifically, a little bit on the squad. Then we move on to the other teams in the competition. Then we move over to the knockout stages, then the final, then obviously the team of the tournament and top goal scorers. I don't know if you guys remember, this was Roy Hodgson's tournament. Obviously, Fabio Capello's just left us from 2010. I think it was the quarterfinal where we got hammered by Germany 4-1. Kind of a little bit of an unfair reflection of the game. It was the Lampard goal where the ball went over the line. Yeah, so we went into this tournament with Roy Hodgson. So the first thing I think I'm best off doing is sharing the England squad. The first game with England. So I'm just going to share my screen, make sure I've got the right stuff up.
Roy Hodgson was 84 back then, wasn't he, as well? I'm sure it was older than Father Time himself.
He like Benjamin Button him. I swear, he keeps getting. It's like must have started about 150 and he's working his way back.
I remember him Cyril Sneer in the Raccoons when I was a kid as well.
Do you know when he was Inter manager? I swear he was 84 then. You know,
yeah.
And that was in the 90s or whatever it was.
I think it was, man. That brother was a fountain of youth or something.
I'm just trying to think in relation to the Liverpool job, like when was this? Was this before? This had to have been.
It's got to be before because Konchesky didn't make it, did he? He took him everywhere.
This might have been after, I think. Is it not after?
Yeah, I'm sure he adopted him like 2014, maybe. So yeah, I think it might be after. Maybe
2012, wasn't it? Yeah, maybe. Yeah. But it was a dark time for us Liverpool fans.
Absolutely.
We had those world beaters of Konchesky and Christian Poulsen.
Joe Cole was our best signing.
Yeah.
He got sent off in first game, didn't he? I remember that.
So yeah, we've obviously we had quite a difficult group, you would say, because obviously Sweden tend to normally do well in the championships, and then you've got one of the host nations, and then you've obviously got France in there.
Well, let's be fair. Any group that England get put into is a difficult group for them. Yeah. We make a meal out of everything. Make a difference.
So obviously, we went the first game with probably our most difficult game of the group, which was France.
Standard 4-4-2 from Royal.
Yeah,
beautiful.
Yeah.
4-4-2. It doesn't matter what the manager is; it's exactly the same year in year out.
At least we stick to our principles.
So yeah, just look at that team. Obviously, we've got Joe Hart, and then we've got Glenn Johnson at right back, Ashley Court left back, Jolien Lescott and Terry at centre backs, with Milner on the right, Gerrard and Scott Parker in the centre, with Oxlade-Chamberlain on the left, the troubled left, and then Ashley Young in behind Danny Welbeck. I'm not sure that's actually how the formation went or how the team went, but
Ashley Young free roll.
I mean, you looking at that, surely it'd have been Ashley Young left wing, Ox right wing, and then three. That gives it a bit more of a balance.
I won't give Ashley Young a free roll on the bus. I'll just make him stay there. Never mind free roll. My ass, stay where you are.
Young will just be getting confused. Doesn't Ashley Young just run down the left, cut back across? He's only got that one move. He doesn't have like plan B, does he?
The man can catch bird crap in his mouth. That man can do anything. So leave me.
What's particularly noticed, like, you think of, you've got Scott Parker, Ox, you've got Ashley Young and James Milner and Welbeck, which obviously you wouldn't associate with a strong England team. But notably in the French team, you've also got Malouda, Cabaye, and Diarra as the central three, and then you've got Nasri, who they're not exactly world beaters, are they not?
No, that French, a really good point. I mean, that French team wasn't a great team.
It's an Asian team, isn't it? It's an
Asian team, but just I'd say shit.
That's what
we're looking at. I mean, there's players there. I mean, we always think, look back and think, top player. I'd say Benzema, Ribéry, potentially Nasri, and that's
everyone was good in his day, though.
So he's probably got four. So he got four. I mean, Lloris, I think he's. I don't think he's got a big hit.
It does look like a mid-table Premier League game, basically, doesn't it? To be fair,
that's you've nailed it. Really good point. Yeah, it does. It absolutely does. Yeah.
And obviously, you look at the back four. That's nothing like the France of the previous tournaments. But yeah, going back to England, our substitutions. You've got Jermaine Defoe, young Jordan Henderson, and Theo Walcott.
I'm guessing Rooney came into this with another injury of some kind. Was it the
metatarsal? I think he scored.
Was it the hair plugs?
Yeah, must have been something like that. I think he scored against Ukraine, so he must have been injured for that game. And obviously, he's playing, isn't he?
I think he had a hair transplant as well.
I mean, I'm looking at that and I just think
he could have been granny.
There's a complete mix of ability in there. I mean, if I go through, there's Ashley Cole, John Terry, and Gerrard. They're your three world-class players, and that is it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And anyway, just talking so many journeyman footballers, I would put an argument and say, if the current World Cup squad European Championship squad getting picked for 2021.
Yeah.
Apart from Cole, Terry, and Gerrard, I'd say the rest of them would struggle to get into the squad. Forget a starting lineup. I think they'd struggle to get into the squad. So
would you not pick in form Joe Hart? For he had about 3 or 4 years, I thought, where he was a very good goalkeeper. Would you not think an informed Joe Hart now could potentially be better than Pickford?
Yeah, but I mean, I'd argue no, because England are trying to play out from the back, and that's the reason why Pep Guardiola pinged him from Man City. He's not great with the ball at his feet. He's not great. Pickford's better with the ball at his feet, and that's why he gets picked, and he's better at playing out. So I mean, potentially, but I just think if England have got a set where they're playing, which Southgate is, is strong on, which is fine. Having a keeper who's comfortable with the ball at his feet is a priority, and Joe Hart's not that.
Yeah. Like, and also as well with Scott Parker in there, I remember when he was like coming through, and this was like a time where everybody was trying to copy, the mold where you've got a defensive midfielder that's kind of like able to pass the ball and break the play up. I don't remember Scott Parker being amazing. Like,
no, he wasn't. I mean, like I said, it's a very journeyman team that take those 3 or 4 players out, and that's where it's at. I mean,
you look at backup goalkeeper then and stuff like that for England. Then have we got the squad as well, or
yeah?
I mean, I remember Scott Parker selling me lots of McDonald's when he was in that advert years ago.
Oh no, he was.
That's about it, man. Maybe buy a Big Mac. I've come with that a couple of times. That was it. To be fair, but I mean, did we even take a backup goalkeeper?
I mean, it's interesting that you're looking at there, and you've got 3 subs. You look back now, and everyone's got like 11 subs. Having that opportunity to go and pick.
Rob Green, maybe about.
You know what I mean? And it's absolutely bonkers. I mean, you look at that squad there. You got
John Ruddy. You don't even have a passport.
Wow, Phil Jones, Stuart Downing. Oh wow. Oh wow. Oh wow. Yeah.
Poor Roy. Poor Roy.
I actually remember going into the tournament believing we could win. What was that drinking?
Right, listen, no comments on this at all, but stand by Adam Johnson.
Oh, bless.
The less said about Adam Johnson, the better, to be fair. I don't think we can afford the solicitors on that one.
Right, let's go back to the England's group stage performances. So, do you guys remember any of the games?
Yeah, I remember the Sweden game. That was somewhat of an exciting game. What I do remember is when you watch the tournament, you always look forward to the big teams coming into the tournament. And this was one of the few occasions where I think we were maybe the last team to play, or we were definitely in one of the latter groups. And I don't know how other teams see it, like when they think of, oh, well, it isn't really a tournament until the likes of France play or England play, or in the World Cup, obviously, Brazil play. But I just remember us playing one of the latter games and just having no hope for this tournament, but obviously we kicked it. We didn't start off too bad, and then we went into the Sweden game where, traditionally a tricky game, and come out on top.
There was a few things that Sweden game I'll always remember. The commentator saying that he got Glenn Johnson and Ashley Cole mixed up when Glenn Johnson tried to clear it off the line. And then a few other things I'd never heard before again. Andy Carroll scoring as well, you know what I mean, in a tournament. And then Danny Welbeck with a touch of class. The commentator actually said Danny Welbeck with a touch of class. And he tried to actually shield the ball and turn. It hit his heel and went in. He didn't mean that at all.
You just said that, you never thought you'd see Andy Carroll score. I've got another one. Andy Carroll actually fucking playing.
Yeah. I mean, put it this way, Sergio Ramos has more league goals than Andy Carroll. I know he's had a lot of injuries, but that just puts it in perspective. To be
fair, I think Sergio Ramos has got a lot of league goals. Even for a defender, I think he's top class.
Yeah, but still. Andy Carroll was a handful back then, but that's about as much as I can go.
Why have they got two substitutes? Can anyone remember why we've only got two subs? Or is
I think it's only the players that actually came on.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah. I'm thinking, surely you can get another player from England. Just get anyone. No, I mean, like me and you, we just knock up anyone just to make the numbers up,
Yeah.
Do you remember the thought process behind Andy Carroll? I'm presuming, is this Newcastle Andy Carroll? Were you thinking he's going to be the Ibrahimovic of our team? I don't know, but to start with, Welbeck and Carroll up front, that's something. That's something special.
It's painful looking back, but that's what England had. That's what England had. It's not like they had any other strikers. They had Rooney and the rest of the shit that they've had to take to the squad with them. It's not, that they were the best of what we had.
Yeah, and you'd think like even Michael Owen. I'm presuming this is a period with Michael Owen.
He's gone. He's retired. It's 2012. He's gone.
Daniel Sturridge would have been trotting around with the clubs, not getting many games at Man City.
I'd imagine Owen. Owen, what was he? He was 17 in 1998, so that's 14 years old. So just that he was starting to get. He's retired. He couldn't play. He was injured every other. Yeah, so that was England. I mean, they obviously qualified from the group, didn't they? And then the last game was when they knocked out the hosts. Because Ukraine had to, I think if Ukraine won, actually they went through. In that game, that's what it worked out.
Because they won one game, didn't they? Shevchenko got two in one of their group games.
They were doing all right. He was pretty set on that team. Obviously, this looks as when Rooney came into the team. But other than that, it's a pretty settled England team.
You look at that. I mean, I think Rooney's obviously. We talk about standout players: Cole, Terry, Gerrard, Rooney, and arguably Hart. If you want a non-playing out from the back goalkeeper. But no, you look at it. It's a pretty average team, and that shouldn't have really won it, and they didn't. So all good. And obviously we've got Ukraine, but I mean, it's funny when you get the host nations, and I've always been really funny on UEFA and FIFA giving. Well, FIFA haven't done it. Well, UEFA giving two host countries because you're basically giving two spaces up to ship teams, and that's never fair. It's never fair. I remember the one before, was it Switzerland and Austria?
I think it's due to the infrastructure and the grounds they've got. I think they have to, but I get what you mean. They shouldn't give up two spaces.
I mean, you've got them, and they very rarely do they qualify. They'll end up bottom of the group and stuff like that. What's the point? You know what I mean? So that's just what it is. But when you get to the rest of the groups, I do remember.
We actually won the group. Jesus.
I mean,
that shows how poor France were. Jesus Christ.
He picked the team out of a Kinder egg as well. He did well.
I mean, you look at that. I mean, England's and the Czech Republic group was the weakest one. I mean, it's not rocket science, but I'm just going to talk about the Italy one because obviously from my Italy perspective, I know they drew the first 2 games, and I was in Italy for that last game against Ireland. They played Spain. I think Spain in the first game. They took the lead.
Yeah, 1-1. I think it was. Yeah,
they took the lead. Yeah, and then Fabregas scored late on to make it 1-1, and they drew against Croatia, and they played Ireland, and then they beat Ireland. Balotelli got a goal in the last couple of minutes from a corner. And it was one of those where you just stand still. Do you know what I mean? Typical
Ireland was shocking. I mean, Shea Given, I love Shea Given. I think he was a great goalkeeper for his stature, but in that, he looked like someone's dad turned up. I think one of them hit him in the face and went in his own net.
Bounced off the post. I just watched it.
He was terrible. He was like, someone hit your dad.
The biggest disappointment for me from that Euros was Holland. I mean, and Holland have got a thing where it's typically Holland, where they've got, before the tournament, great shout, really strong fancy for the tournament, and they fall apart, whether it's infighting, whether it's just discipline issues, whether it's just bottling it at the final, whatever it is, they just seem to be experts in failure. I hate using that phrase because Mourinho used it, but they're experts in failure every time they get to a major tournament, and it's just like...
The last 2 years after getting to the World Cup final, isn't it, as well?
Yeah.
But like Group B and Group C are ridiculously hard. You think Germany, Portugal, Netherlands, and Denmark, and then you've got Spain, Italy, Croatia, and Ireland. Obviously, Ireland, one of the few times that they actually get in, they get a monster of a group. And we're actually unfortunate enough to be on that side of the draw where we actually win our group for once, and then end up playing either the winner of Italy or Spain. Which is...
Well, it was runners up, wasn't it? England played Italy, and I remember I got a lot of stick because it was the first time England had played Italy for a long time in a major tournament, and I was absolutely completely supporting Italy naturally because I've always got a thing. I'll always support Italy regardless of the player, but if obviously Italy are out, I'll happily sort of support England. And that team for Italy it wasn't the greatest Italian team, but they had a way of playing which was brilliant, and it was Pirlo was coming into being. I mean, he was getting older, but he still had dominance, and he reinvented that.
Yeah, he reborn money in that tournament.
Yeah, so he reinvented that holding position. So you think of a typical holding midfielder, your Makelele or a Fabinho or a Fernandinho. Pirlo's a different type of player, one that controls the game, dictates it, and is all about getting positioning right. Jorginho's like a shitter version of him at the moment. But basically, that's the one. And Pirlo, and it was just a really solid team. And they've got De Rossi on the left. It's not De Rossi, won't be on the left. It'll be De Rossi and Pirlo, Montolivo from the left. But it'd be a really narrow 4. And then you got your width from your Balzarati and Abate. Barzagli and Bonucci. Bonucci is obviously brilliant. Like really one of the best ball playing centre halves of the last 10 years. And then obviously you've got the great Buffon in goal as well. And Balotelli that was a tournament. Balotelli played really, really well.
Yeah, he did.
It took him a while to get going, though, didn't it? I think it was the 3rd game until he scored in the group, and then
he
got a bit of flack, didn't he?
He scored against Ireland. Yeah, it's just that he's one of those players, though, Balotelli, where he can rub people up the wrong way just because of his attitude and people looking at it. Because ultimately, we've got to understand football is a working man's sport, and it's people that don't like that arrogance, and he does bring that off. He was good in that tournament. But so I mean, obviously we played England, and it'd be interesting to hear how all three of us remember this game. I'll tell you how I remember it first, anyway, from the Italian perspective. I thought we were the better team throughout. Got to extra time, and I just thought England were playing for penalties. And I remember the penalty shootout, and I remember Joe Hart being an absolute twat because what he was doing, standing on the line and giving the old facials and trying to be a weapon and put the other person off. So I know Italy missed one of the first penalties, and England had a bit of advantage. Pirlo's penalty was the most pressure penalty of the penalty shootout because I think if he missed that, England would have gone 2 ahead. There'd have been quite a big gap, and he wouldn't have been able to come back. He stepped up, Hart's doing all the fancy jazz stuff on the goal line, and Pirlo dinks it, and I'm watching it there, and I'm like, normally I'm lost for a bit. I'm like, I can't believe he's just done that, and that was the moment Italy won. Because it was just like, this guy can step up in the most pressurised moments and do that to you, Joe Hart. And Joe Hart must have just felt shit. And I'd literally just knocked England for 6. And then obviously Italy have gone on from there.
Yeah, I kind of remember it as it was.
I think it was actually Cole that missed ours, wasn't it, in the end?
Yeah, yes, it was. Yeah, I kind of remember it as his was the equalising. Like, so I think they'd missed.
Well, they'd missed. We'd missed. Italy had missed.
Yeah, both had missed. I think he had the next one, and it was just ridiculous. Like, I was talking about Zidane on one of the previous ones, and to do that, God, how big must your balls be to be doing that? Yeah. I wouldn't even think about doing that if I was messing about with the dog in the back garden. It's just terrifying to do it in that situation. But yeah, I remember the game like you. I think it was pretty much a boring game where I think England would have been generally happy to get it to penalty shootout and just take our chances. Then obviously Italy will have been gutted to actually run the lottery of penalties, but as you can see, obviously we've stuck with our traditional 4-4-2.
I mean, the thing that Simpson, how did you remember it?
Yeah, this England team, and there's no threat going forward whatsoever. We've got Rooney in there. Walcott, when he came off the bench in the group stage, looked more of a threat down that right wing. But the Italians in any tournament, defensively, tactical masterclass. And if we've got to come up with something, set piece plays, anything. And even Roy Hodgson knows that after coaching in Italy, he should have known better than that. And there's no attacking threat going forward. So I think looking at this, we probably thought Italy worse than us on penalties. We might have a chance to beat them on penalties. And like you said, I think it was just a case of we were playing it out. I don't remember Italy having major chances. But then again, I don't remember us having major chances either.
I thought, from what I remember, I think the old, it's Italy, so it was nil. Looking back now, people think, it's 0-0, Italy playing, Italian typical performance. It wasn't that. Italy were the more attacking team in the game. They looked to get on the ball and looked to play. I know a few times Italy had a tactic when it went to Pirlo, like a centre half or a full back and playing to Pirlo, and he'd whip it first time over England's back line because they sort of identified that as a weakness. And Balotelli got in a couple of times and his finishing was wayward. But that was a really good sort of deploy that Italy had and a pattern they'd worked on. But the rest, I thought the right team went through, and I had a lot of fun because I was winding up everyone because it was in England and they won. So it was a brilliant time for me. And then obviously everyone became anti-Italian.
Yeah, I think it was the best that England could have expected, especially with that squad at the time. Obviously, we've gone over it. It's nothing special. So to go out on penalties, you kind of, that unlucky hero type thing again, as the English fans love.
Yeah. So, but you compare it to like France 98 and stuff where we thought we deserved to go through. We didn't deserve to go through on that one.
Yeah. Exactly. So, moving on to the other quarterfinals. Obviously, you got Czech Republic, who got knocked out by Portugal, Spain, who beat France, Germany, who beat Greece, who surprisingly made it to that. Do you remember any of these?
I mean, we're going to talk about Spain later, but Spain were the best team and they were brilliant. That game, I remember their performance, even the group stage, they were just like, this was in the middle of Spain's dominance of world football. They were just phenomenal. You're watching it thinking, they're the team to beat.
Yeah, they were a different class to be fair. Germany, Greece, again, was just quite standard, to be honest. You expect them to go through.
Yeah, I mean, the teams, like I said, Czech Republic and Greece were not great. I mean, it wasn't a great Euros, in if truth be told, looking back, in terms of quality. I mean,
there's some good goals. I remember Zlatan's volley and Kedra's volley.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at the countries. The names of the countries are still there. The Portugal, Spain, Germany's, Italy's, England's. But the players they've got in those teams weren't great. It wasn't a great time. Apart from Spain were so far ahead. I don't think Germany were great either.
Yeah, I think Germans were more up and coming. I think the team was starting to improve. But yeah, you're right. Obviously, you see with England, like it's just a dearth of quality. Even with all due respect, the Italians, it's not the typical what you would expect. And obviously, France went out early, early-ish, and then you've got the Dutch who just went out on the first stage. So. You're right, quality-wise, this time.
A lot of countries in transition, weren't there, really?
Yeah.
Because even Germany had Mario Gomez up front. And he played well. He got a lot of goals in that tournament. But
yeah, he
look, like I said, the quality throughout, really, apart from Spain, either teams are aging or there's no... I don't remember any sort of wonder kids, you know what I mean? Someone like, I can't wait to see his first tournament and stuff like that. There wasn't any of that, really, like in previous ones with Michael Owen and Rooney. Even Torres back in the day, but there didn't seem to anything like that coming through either.
Yeah, I remember Ronaldo. I think he took a while to get going as well, but then I think he scored a couple in the tournament.
I mean, it was an interesting one for Italy as well because Italy in 2010, so the previous major tournament, they got knocked out in the group stages. Like, do you remember when they played New Zealand? And they were the World Cup holders at the time as well in 2010. So this was a massive upturn for them to, they had to turn it around. There was obviously players moving on and a slight change in the way they want to play and stuff. But yeah, no, it is what it is, isn't it? And then they're obviously progressing. We're moving on to the semis now.
Yeah, so the semis, obviously, the first game on the semis is Portugal versus Spain. Looks like probably the equally hardest game along with the Italy group game. They've obviously come through on penalties again. Like, they go through such a long period where they kind of struggle to get over the line. Now that they've got that winning mentality, it just, I don't know whether it just, obviously penalties is a lot down to luck, but fortune seems to be favouring them ever so slightly. Do you remember much about this game?
I remember they deserved to go through. Like, I remember Ronaldo being completely aggrieved at the end, like he'd been robbed. But Spain dominated possession and stuff like that, and they deserved to go through in the end. To be fair,
I don't know whether this was the one, but I distinctly remember something where Ronaldo didn't take a penalty, or he was the last penalty taker.
Yeah, right. I don't know if it was this one or I think you're right. It might well be the fifth one, because obviously the fifth one is the glory one generally.
It's the glory penalty, yeah.
So knowing Ronaldo how he is, an unbelievably brilliant player, he's got that edge about him that he wants to be the one that people are talking about. You know what I mean? He wants the glory penalty. Yeah. And it was too late. It was too late.
Obviously, like before we come on, we like to refresh our memories, and we probably all watch the same video where you watch all the goals, and you're right. I saw a clip there of Ronaldo just being so aggrieved, and to me that was a look of obviously someone that's went out, but it's also the case of there's nothing I could have done there. I think this was the game
it's the early days of him versus Messi. Who's going to get that first international trophy? And I remember even the commentators going, "Oh, he's the best player of us at the moment, and will he ever win one for things?" I remember Figo being in the crowd as well. Yeah, and like Gino, and they actually thought, Ronaldo's finally going to surpass Messi and do it, because obviously Messi hasn't done it with Argentina. Maybe a Copa America, whatever. But yeah, I think he was aggrieved like Spain has stole it off him, kind of forgetting that Spain had dominated everything for the last 6 years. You know what I mean? So what do you expect, bro?
I just want to ask you a question, like on that Ronaldo penalty. If you have a quality penalty taker, where do you put him? Do you put him first? Do you put him in on maybe like fourth, because you kind of know you're going to get the
first?
Yeah,
start off right. Yeah. I mean, the one about the fifth is it going to go that far? It might not even go that far, and you're wasting him. So get him up front, get him taken, because then once you get to fifth, it's probably going to be sudden death anyway. Do you know what I mean?
I'd always have a keeper in there. I've never seen a keeper miss a penalty. I really haven't. Chilavert back in the day, but when the keepers step up, they hit them balls that bloody hard. I've never seen the keeper miss a penalty.
They were talking about Edison.
They were talking about Edison. Loads of them do them.
They were talking about Edison doing it for Man City, weren't they? Because he kept missing penalties. It's like, Edison, do you fancy it?
See what I mean? But I would, though. They have the cleanest strikes of the ball. They practice striking that ball in top bins every time. That height and the distance. But yeah, I'd have done that.
Yeah, so we'd all agreed Spain deserved to go through. From my memory recollection, they played brilliant, and we'll talk about it when I get to the final. But yeah, they're just loaded with midfielders, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely.
I think in a neutral as well, everyone wanted to watch them play, didn't they? From a neutral point of view, everyone wanted to watch Spain play.
I'm just looking at Negredo up front and Arbeloa right back.
No, right, Arbeloa was good, because he played for Liverpool. They went to Real Madrid, and he had a good few years there, and he's had a solid career. Good player, Arbeloa. I think he's one of those that you look at him and he's probably not got a fancy name as the rest of them. It's like Arbeloa, it's a bit of shit name, isn't it?
Just a quick mention for the Portuguese team. It's not too bad, is it? Again, Ronaldo's surrounded by a good few players, and Pepe is obviously still there. I don't think he'll ever leave that national side. No,
that's a decent Portuguese team, well balanced, good team. You've got good fullbacks, keepers good. Good solid team. That Hugo Almeida probably is the weakest link up front, but the rest of Nani and Ronaldo are absolutely fine. But yeah. Moving on to the Germany-Italy one, this is mine. Do you want me to just take over?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So the Italy game, we had, I remember Germany were strong favourites. Everyone sort of thought Germany would fucking piss it and walk it, you know what I mean? And then you look at that Germany team, there was a slight imbalance in that they had Jerome Boateng as a right back, and I think that midfield's slightly wrong because Cruz would have been central. They might have had Ozil playing from the right.
Yeah.
Just because Cruz ain't going to be playing on the right there.
Yeah.
I remember the Italy game. That was Italy's best performance, and they had a slight change in that they had Chiellini at left back and Bate. So obviously Bal's right. He played at left foot. He played at right back, and Italy went to. It was the one where you guys will probably remember. It's famous now. Balotelli took his top off and he stood there. Do you know what I mean? Chest out, and it was just like memes across the road everywhere. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
went 2-up. And
was he getting a lot of flack back in Italy though?
It was the arrogance thing again. Do you know what I mean? It was like, is he good enough? Is he not? You know what I mean? Is Cassano's the main man, and he just performed really well. It was like, just stop giving him stick. Got a lot of stick, unfair, undue stick. But I remember when the game, this must have been in about 90th minute when it's 2-1 and Germany are looking to get an equaliser. And I think it was Balzerati or Chiellini to put a tackle in, and it went for a corner. And they fist pumped and cheered it like they'd scored a goal. You know, he's like, yeah. He going for the corner here, you know what I mean? Let's just defend it right. And then obviously he gone through and like, yes, brilliant. Absolutely, yeah. Do you guys remember much of that game?
I'll be honest, no.
Remember Germany poor defending.
I've got to be like, as soon as it's almost like England go out and I kind of lose an interest, but I know I will have watched this. I know I will have watched this game. I do remember, if it's the game I'm thinking of, Balotelli, the ball comes over and he's in a weird position. He's kind of has to turn on it, and then he just strikes it really early into the top corner.
Yeah, it's a hell of a finish.
So that's something that I can think of from that game. But I've got no doubt that that Italy would deserve winners. But this looks like obviously a German team that's coming into its own. Obviously you've got Tony Cruz. I imagine he's quite young at the time. Khedira, Ozil, Podolski. He'll be late on in that.
I mean,
he got his 100th cap in that tournament, Podolski. Would you believe?
Right, there you go.
100 caps for Germany. You wouldn't think that, to be fair.
I've never rated him, but obviously he's got. Actually, must be doing. I mean, you look through that Germany team. I still think there's some top players. Like whether they were there moving forward. So you've got Cruz, Ozil, Schweinsteiger, Hummels, Neuer, Lahm.
Boateng's probably at Man City maybe back then.
Yeah, I mean,
I think what Simpson says there, 100 caps, that just shows the level of the German football prior to this, prior to this tournament.
Because they won it. They won the World Cup 2 years later, didn't they, in 2014?
Yeah.
That's what happened. But yeah, so moving on to the final, a bit painful. Don't really remember it.
So Ty, I always do this. It's kind of like a slap in. It's kind of like a slap in the face.
So it's all we've got as England fans. It's all we've got.
We get kicked out early, and we've got nothing to say, so we can't take the mix. So Ty leads us away with this one, Matt.
I mean the Italy team. I mean, when it got to 5 minutes.
Just a question: were you confident going into this final, knowing how good they were? Because, like we said, not many teams carry and their club form into country, and it seems like every single one of those players just went balls out.
The Italy game, so the final. I always knew we were underdogs, but I always believed in them to get a result because we played Spain in the first game, but the game finished 1-1. But when Spain played that team, and they did play with a 9. It was the first time an international team I remember played with a false 9 in a major game, proper, like whether it's a quarters or a knockout game. And they had Fabregas playing as a false 9, and you look at that, you've got 6 midfielders there, 6 central midfielders in the team. That's what it is. You look at 6 central midfielders, and it was the level of quality and technique shown in that game from both sides, because Italy had some good footballers as well, like really good footballers, was just brilliant. And I mean, the right team obviously won. They won 4-0. But I just remember that the bit that really sticks out in my mind is at the end of the game, Casillas and Buffon sort of like hugging, and Buffon, like a really sad face, but Casillas is there hugging him, talking to him. And a clip came out afterwards. The game was 4-0, and I think Spain, one of the players was taking the piss, and Casillas shouted out respect in Spanish to sort of say, respect your opposition, respect, don't take the piss. Do you know what I mean? And that was like a bit of quality that you remember things like that. I mean, obviously, it's 9 years ago now. And I just thought that was a real show of class from Iker Casillas and and it just sort of let people know you can win, but win with class and quality. I mean, that team's just brilliant. You look at it, it's just brilliant. You know, there's nothing else to say.
You can pick a world 11, and you know, let's say barring, I know what you're saying about Arbeloa, but if you were to take out Arbeloa and replace him with any quality right back, that is
Philip Lahm,
that is a team that matches any team of the tournament or any team in just about history. Simpson, your thoughts on this, man?
I remember it slightly different than Ty. I don't remember Italy doing that much. He reminded me a lot of Barcelona versus Man United at Wembley, when Barca just absolutely just outplayed them. And don't get me wrong, Italy.
Can we cut him out? We don't need this man. We don't need this guy.
Ty's edited, so
you watch it back, and after the second goal, bar Pirlo, I've never seen it to the Italians. There's so many Italians just walking around because they can't get near the ball. They cannot get near the ball, and the Italians are known for having possession as well. And they'll pass it around your ass all day until you get tired. They'll be patient. They'll play for 3 chances in a game and win a game like that. The Italians. But that game, I just remember them. It reminded me of that Barca United final. They were just unbelievable. They are just passing there through. And like I said, a couple of the last goals, you've got like Torres and Iniesta just unmarked on the left. Balls going through to me, thinking, what's going on? And you think, I've Italy given up here. And you can tell at the end, because Pirlo's crying his eyes out. I think he's given 100% this whole tournament. Buffon as well. But I think a few of the Italians, after that second goal went in, they thought, we're facing something that's just... you'll never see again. And you know what I mean? My tweet, I think it's 2012. My pin tweet.
2010. It was 2010. Yeah.
Don't bring up old tweets.
I said then, that Spanish team was the best national team we're ever going to in my lifetime, and I still firmly stand by that. There's not been, and that team was part of the dominance, and they played football. Yeah, you know, in your head, the way you want to play, and on FIFA, you know, we've obviously played PES and stuff, you know, you're trying to play ping. They did that to international players, elite footballers. In real life, it was.
I've seen that since the Brazil team in the 70s.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously didn't see that, but I'm sure, I don't know if they played as well as that, but you watch, I mean, the one standout player, I mean, I know we can talk about stuff, but Iniesta was the one for me in that team.
Yeah, he was. I said Xavi in the last tournament.
Yeah. But Iniesta,
certainly Iniesta.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the last, I mean, everyone's got favourite players, but he's going to be in my list, you know what I mean? I'm thankful to have seen him play, because he didn't. The ball just seemed to be stuck to his foot every time. Like, it's like a piece of string that can only go like 20 centimetres. It's just ridiculous.
But even then, like, you look at that team and you're thinking, if one of that 3 or 4 in the midfield goes out, Xabi Alonso comes in.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? And it's just like, he had an abundance of talent, that team. It was unbelievable. It was
the only thing I'd say is, the manager got lucky, because any manager would have won the major tournament with them. You know, we could have done it.
Yeah. I mean, Del Bosco like something from the Muppets, didn't he, to be fair? But yeah, he did well, to be honest.
That it just goes to show, like you both mentioned, it's like levels. Like, you know, you've got a world class team in the Italians, no doubt. But, you know, and then you think of the England team below them, and then maybe you think of the Swedish below them, and, you know, you just think of the levels. And I don't think like you said, any national team can get to that level. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous, especially without no forwards. And I don't think any team have ever played anything like that again, you know, without a recognised number 9, because that's what everybody thinks. But just going on your point on Iniesta, this might be the only time I ever get to say this. I went to watch Zenit St. Petersburg against Barcelona at the Nou Camp. Obviously, you know, it's like when you go to live, you see certain things differently. You're able to focus on particular players. And Messi scored both goals, and it was 2-0 to Barcelona. Quality goals, individual goals. But watching Iniesta, for me, everybody says, how good was Messi that game? How good was Messi? After watching the game, I was like, Iniesta was by far the best player on the pitch. He was absolutely unbelievable. And, you know, I've seen quite a lot of games live and, you know, obviously on TV and that, but I've never, ever seen a player with that level of performance. He was just absolutely immaculate. And that's why I strive every day to be like Iniesta.
Yeah, I've seen it. Do you know, Guardiola said something, it's probably, you know, people have heard of this, but Guardiola said, he spoke when Xavi was coming through to the battle, especially. Guardiola said to Xavi, he said, you're going to retire me. There's going to be one player that's going to retire us both, and that's Iniesta. And he was absolutely right, you know what I mean? So as history has have it, you know, he's just gone on to, it's just phenomenal. Not to say Xavi wasn't a good player.
But still, yeah.
I know, yeah.
It's an embarrassment of riches.
I mean, I'm not sure about the shape of his head, like, to be fair. What's going on there? Like, it looks like Vincent Kompany's love child, but other than that.
So, team of the tournament time. The only thing I'll say is, you know me, balance. There's literally no balance to that team.
No.
You've got four. It's like picking a fantasy football team where you just pick all the fullbacks in defence just to get your attacking fullback. It's like can't have two left backs there, Contrao and Alba.
Yeah.
Ramos and I mean, the mid. It's like they're trying to play Spain, all midfielders. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, as an 11 goes, that is quite ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah.
I just want to have your quick opinions. I'm just going to go forward, then we're going to come back side by side.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna. I'll just for our listeners and on the podcast, let's give you a shout out for the Euro 2012 team. We had Casillas in goal, back four of Fabio Contrao, normally a left back playing right back here. Rest of Ramos on Pepe centre halves, Alba left back, midfield four of Xavi, Khedira, Pirlo, Iniesta, which was basically just put four midfielders, no width for anything, and up front Ronaldo and Balotelli.
Mm-hmm.
And go on, Chris.
Yeah, go on. So the obviously a few weeks back we came across a team of the tournament from Euro 2000, which was quite ridiculous, and we've kind of held them aloft and compared every other team of the tournament since then. We had Toldo in goal, Maldini left back, Blanc, Cannavaro, and Thuram at right back. You've got Figo, Vieira, Zidane, and Edgar Davids, and then Totti and Kluivert up front. So, Simpson, your thoughts on comparatively?
Ooh. If I did it player for player, who wins?
Who wins and player for player?
I'm going to go out on a limb. Euro 2000 wins. Player for player, but just based on that tournament, you go Casillas goalkeeper, Thuram, Ramos, Blanc, Maldini.
What?
Whoa.
Just, yeah.
I knew he was going to do that.
Ballon d'Or. Blanc's won fuck all.
Even you said, yeah, he was good and all that, but he wasn't the best one. But Maldini, Ramos, and Ramos, I think, best. And then Iniesta over David, yeah. I'd have Zidane, Pirlo, Xavi, and then I would actually have Totti and Kluivert. Based on the tournaments alone, I reckon Totti and Kluivert have better tournaments than Ronaldo and Balotelli did in that one. Personally.
Well, Chris, can I just say something? After this, we'll just cut this fucker off. He ain't playing.
You said yourself, Cannavaro's yeah, he will play the year, but yeah, he won't that great either. Whereas Ramos has been consistent for many years. Cannavaro's consistent for a short period, and he won it. Ramos has been consistent for 12, 15 years, in my opinion.
Cannavaro was consistent. He's played for some of the best teams.
Ramos knows jiu-jitsu, man.
No, I'm
guy's a Ninja Turtle on the side.
I'm on about Blanc. So you're picking Laurent Blanc over Cannavaro. I agree. It's Ramos and Cannavaro at the back. That's done.
Cannavaro I don't know. Did he win World Player of the Year for that tournament, Cannavaro?
2006.
So yes, it's 6 years later. Cannavaro 2006, yeah, not Cannavaro 2000.
No, we're just picking. No, this is us looking back. This is us looking back and seeing the team. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. As overall players, I'd say Cannavaro was probably.
Thanks. Yeah, so we can let it
but
back.
on that tournament alone, Ramos over Cannavaro.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Simpson. The only one I would change out is I'd take out Maldini and put in Alba.
Son of a bitch.
I'm totally messing. Thoughts, Ty?
Yeah, I mean, Casillas probably ahead of Toldo. Thuram obviously ahead of you'd have
Casillas probably ahead of Toldo.
Thuram,
you said Toldo's trash.
Yeah.
Buffon over Toldo, wouldn't you? Really?
I mean, it's that Italian. I've generally got to say this. Casillas, great career. I still don't think he's one of the best keepers. Like we talk.
What?
Because I think
he's a great shot stopper. I agree. His presence.
He's not. I mean, Buffon's better than Casillas. There's a lot.
He won a Champions League before he could even drive a car.
No. You're missing my point. He's had a great career. He's not great. I mean, great shot stopper. He had a lot of weaknesses. Do you know what I mean?
Would you compare him to maybe like a Lloris?
Yeah, I would exactly compare him.
No way. No way. Casillas is miles better than Hugo Lloris.
Oh, he's better than him. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
You cannot say the guy that had been captain of Real Madrid, won it at 16 years, 17 or whatever it was. You know what I mean? He's still getting his ass wiped by his mum and he won the Champions League. Casillas has been an absolute beast in the day.
Right, we're going to put this out there. question for everyone. We normally have a question of the week, okay? Who's better, Casillas or Hugo Lloris?
not even any point. You know,
I was the one that put it out there, and it's Casillas.
Honestly, Ika, ring a brother up because I got your back, Ika. Don't even honestly, Ika, don't worry about it, Ika. If you're listening, bro. I'll come Portugal and chill with you, man. Yeah. I swear down. I mean, I'd even have Buffon is better than Todo. Todo was a good goalkeeper. He was a good goalkeeper.
Oh, I'm not arguing.
But Casillas, do you know what I mean? Todo would be hired to clean Casillas' trophies.
It's not. No, you're missing the point. I agree. Casillas is better than Todo. I'm just saying Casillas was not a great keeper. That's my point. He's had a great career. You can't.
In our generation, would you not have him in the top 10?
Oh yeah, top 10. Yeah, obviously top 10. Probably.
From what we've seen from our generation, it's quite a tough one to be a top 5.
Yeah,
you think about like
Schmeichel,
your Oliver Kahn, your Schmeichels.
Yeah, I mean, I think Schmeichel's better than him. I think Buffon's better than him.
I'd agree with those two.
Oliver Kahn.
Oliver Kahn probably as well. Manuel Neuer, I'd say, is better than him as well. And I'd even. I actually think Alisson.
If you say Dudek, I'm a leave.
Yeah. I actually think Alisson's a better keeper than him.
Really?
I think Petr Cech's better than him. Yeah.
No, Petr Cech in that talk. That's one thing I did notice about his tournament. Going back a little bit. I know, but I'm going back a little bit
for the last.
Petr Cech was a good goalkeeper, club level. International level was crap. Casillas was good at club and international level.
We're comparing. We can't compare keepers to the international careers because it's the way you're born. That's all that.
Yeah, I get he's got defence in front of him.
Petr Cech's played for Czech. Do you know what I mean? So we're different. We're talking about different stuff. I don't think that's how you get him. Casillas' great career. I wouldn't say. I mean, he's an unbelievably good keeper, but he's not like what I'd say. We look at, one of the best of the last. He's not. I won't say top 5 in my lifetime. Absolutely not. That's just the way I see it. Opinions are opinions, aren't they?
Yeah, I think the question of the day is to be a bit more balanced. Was Iker Casillas world class, or was it just that he had a very good career? That's maybe the one or the other.
Well, then we can have another podcast on what defines world class, because that would be another one. So yeah. So anyway,
moving on to the top goal scorers. Obviously, everybody finished on 3. Mario
Gomez.
Boring,
isn't it, though? That's
Cristiano Ronaldo, Mandzukic, Torres, Balotelli, and Zagoev.
So did we all get like a golden boot each? Or something
no. Fernando Torres ended up getting it because he got the same number of assists as Mario Gomez, but he done it in less time, in less minutes.
Right.
He did it. But yeah, to be fair to is it Zagoev? He obviously only had three games in which to get the 3 goals, so perhaps a little bit unfair. But yeah, so. Final thoughts on 2012?
Yeah, for me, obviously bittersweet getting hammered in the final, but I thought Spain, if ever there's a team you don't mind losing to, is a team with Iniesta in it and Xavi, and the football they played was just delightful. And I don't use delightful often, and I'm using it because it deserves it in that tournament, and they were unbelievably good. So yeah, I think great memories of that Spain team. Just another opportunity to push them. Yeah, brilliant.
For me, to quote Ty, no world-class players, just a bunch of people with good careers. Just a tournament full of that.
You know what we're going to do, Simpson? We're just going to change the password for these podcasts. Okay, we're sending that through to you straight after this.
I like a bit of good debate. I like a bit of good debate.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Chris, what about
you? It wasn't a great start. Like we were talking about with the players, the team of the tournament was absolutely amazing. But those were the few pick-out players. Other than that, it doesn't stand firm in my memory. But obviously next we've got Euro 2016 coming up, which was a very memorable one. I think that was held in France, was it not? And did Wales come to the party in that one?
They did, yeah. And we might even have a special Welsh guest on that one.
Yeah.
And it's not Simpson.
I'm not Welsh last time I checked, but yeah. This is going to be a painful one for England fans. Oh my goodness, this is going to be painful. It really is.
Absolutely. So, Yeah, we'd like all of your guys' comments in the comments section about all of the things that we've just talked about, whether you agree, disagree. No doubt you disagree with a lot of what we've said about Casillas and what have you. We'll have plenty of thumbs down, but don't forget to subscribe, join the 84 strong BTP army. As we said, next week we'll be joined by another guest and also Simpson. So just like to say thank you, Simpson. Again, how was it, Matt?
Been brilliant, yeah. And Ty's promised to give away one of them white t-shirts for the 100th subscriber that joins. If you're the lucky 100th subscriber, you'll get a Fruit of the Loom.
Brilliant. I'll get you one of them, my boys.
Absolutely.
But no, honestly, enjoyed it as always, but it's always good talking football and banter and different opinions. It's always good, guys. So again, like this video.
It gets the juices flowing, doesn't it?
It does. It's good. It'd be boring if we all agreed and everything. I think it's good that we all have our favourites and all different things. I think it's brilliant. Yeah. So yeah, I think like the video, tune in for 2016 because there's going to be even more opinions. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, guys.
Absolutely. So lastly, obviously you can find Simpson playing Pez, shouting at his TV and what have you.
I should get a real job, really.
At Reggae Boy Game. If you just type that in the YouTube search bar, you can find them there. So from me, from Ty, from Simpson, thanks for watching.
See you guys. Bye.
Peace out.